Rise up, Jason! Your work isn't finished!
This is a one-time gig. When it's done, we're done.
Let's dance, asshole!
What is going on, guys? This is DropThisBox, and I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day today. And today I thought it'd be fun if we talked about the very first Kid Icarus game on the NES, because I happen to be a really big fan of Kid Icarus. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys know that already because I have made several videos talking about Kid Icarus on the channel. But I thought it'd be fun today if I actually sat down and talked about the very first game in the series, because that's something that I never done. Like, sure, I made various topics talking about certain things on the series, but I never really sat down and talked about the first game. So that's exactly what I want to do today. So I really do hope you guys enjoy this video. And I also plan on doing the exact same thing with Kid Icarus Myths and Monsters, and also Kid Icarus Uprising further down the line, so also be sure to look forward to those videos whenever they get released. But if you guys have anything you want to share when it comes to your overall experience with Kid Icarus on the NES, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below, because I would absolutely love to hear your own story with this game as well. Kid Icarus on the NES makes a strong impression from the start. You're introduced to a unique world rooted in Greek mythology, but reimagined as a 8-bit landscape filled with danger and mystery. The game begins in the Underworld, setting an intense atmosphere where survival feels like a real challenge. The simple but effective graphics add to the dark tone, and the music ramps up the tension with its fast pace. Together, these create a feeling of both excitement and unease, pulling you right into Pit's journey. My first experience of Kid Icarus was a mix of curiosity and frustration, but in a way that kept me hooked. Unlike many platformers, Kid Icarus doesn't ease you in. The Underworld is immediately tough, with enemies quickly swarming and testing your reflexes. Many of these enemies attack in groups, so you have to react quickly and time your movements to survive. Although I faced some frustrating moments, each small victory made me feel accomplished and motivated to keep improving. And this vertical level design adds to the sense of progress, as each platform feels like a step up towards a new area. As you climb towards the later stages, it's clear that reaching higher zones is the goal. There's a sense of moving up out of danger, pushing you to keep going despite the risk. Each platform becomes a fight for survival, and shows Pit's determination to escape the Underworld. The mythological world Kid Icarus creates is surprisingly immersive for a NES game. With minimal storytelling, the different realms and the creatures Pit encounters makes it feel like a big heroic quest. This setup lets you imagine the story as you progress, and for a game of its time, Kid Icarus captures a unique environment without making things too complicated, making it memorable and impactful. And the difficulty in Kid Icarus is one of its defining traits, because from the start, enemies like the Mono Eyes and Reapers have distinct patterns and often overwhelm you on the first try. Many of these foes come in a group, so quick reflexes and careful timing are key to avoid being swamped. My first tries are full of constant defeats, and I quickly realized that learning each enemy's movements was essential to advancing, and the challenge makes the game engaging, pushing you to adapt and get better with each try. On top of the enemies, the platforming itself is tough. One wrong move or mistimed jump can send you all the way back to the bottom of the level, especially in vertical stages. Kid Icarus doesn't have checkpoints within levels, so a mistake often means starting over. And this design forces patience and focus, along with a willingness to learn from each setback. And the game may lack the ease of modern games, but it rewards players willing to handle its steep learning curve with a real sense of achievement. And the eggplant wizards are possibly the most dreaded challenge in the game. These enemies curse Pit, turning him into a helpless eggplant and forcing you to carefully navigate to a hospital to recover. This adds a quirky twist that's funny but also stressful, especially the first time you get eggplanted. It's a memorable mechanic that, although annoying, keeps you on your toes and makes certain sections tense and satisfying to beat. And Kid Icarus is unapologetically hard, but it's also fair, because every setback is a chance to improve, and each victory feels earned. The game's difficulty may be demanding, but it gives players a reason to keep trying, making progress genuinely satisfying. It's a style that might feel tough by today's standards, but it's a big part of what makes Kid Icarus so memorable. And Kid Icarus uses a progression system that adds to its challenge because defeating enemies earn you hearts, which acts as currency to buy items in shops. And this system requires careful planning, as hearts are limited and items like health potions or stronger weapons are crucial for survival. I often had to decide between saving and spending, making each heart count. And the way that Pit's health and weapons improve is tied to how well you play, because you can increase health by meeting specific score thresholds, and advanced weapons like the fire arrow and sacred bow, which are only unlocked if you show enough skill. And this performance-based approach feels rewarding because it means that only effort and mastery will improve Pit's abilities, and earning these power-ups feel like true progress, where skill directly affects Pit's chances of survival. And altogether, the power system in Kid Icarus combines skill-based progression with smart resource management, giving a challenge rarely seen in platformers of its time. And every extra health bar and every weapon upgrade feels earned, and the demand for careful planning keeps you engaged. While this approach might feel harsh, it makes gameplay feel more personal and connected to your own skills and decisions. And the story of Kid Icarus draws inspiration from Greek mythology, which adds to its appeal because you play as Pit, an angel on a mission to save the goddess Palutena from Medusa, who has taken over the overworld and turned many creatures against you. Though the NES couldn't offer complex storytelling, Kid Icarus manages to convey a clear mythological theme through its setting, character designs, and the main quest. And the simple story gives purpose to the gameplay, adding depth without complicating things. And the Greek mythology theme shines in the game's enemies and environments because you'll encounter monsters inspired by classic myths like serpent-like foes and one-eyed mono-eyes, giving the game a consistent theme. These creatures don't just feel like obstacles, they're a part of a larger world. This made me feel like I was a part of a heroic story even without much dialogue or cutscenes. The game builds its world through encounters and visuals, making the mythological elements feel immersive. Pit's journey from the underworld to the overworld follow a classic hero's path, rising through trials to reach a higher goal, and as you move through these stages, it's hard not to feel like you're experiencing Pit's journey towards heroism. I like this structure as it makes each section feel like a step closer to saving Palutena and restoring peace. The straightforward progression adds a symbolic element, turning gameplay into a story that feels as much about the journey as the action. And the mythology in Kid Icarus gives it a timeless feel because even with minimal story details, themes of struggle, redemption, and heroism come across clearly. It may not have a complex plot, but the mythological setting gives it a sense of purpose, and Kid Icarus delivers an experience that feels epic in scale, making Pit's journey feel important as he rises through this dangerous world. Kid Icarus on the NES is a game that's challenging, unique, and full of character. It combines platforming with RPG elements all wrapped up in a mythological world that feels grand even in its simplicity. The difficulty might be hard to get through, but that's also what makes it so rewarding. For all its quirks and frustrations, it's a game that sticks with you, especially if you enjoy a real challenge. Kid Icarus may not be as well known as other NES classics, but for those who played it, it's a journey worth remembering. But overall, that's all I have to say about Kid Icarus. I just really wanted to make this video today, like I said, talking about the very first game, because I really want to go over my own personal experiences when it comes to the 3 Kid Icarus games within the Kid Icarus series. So whenever we talk about Kid Icarus next, more than likely it's going to be a video on Kid Icarus of Myth and Monsters, so be sure to look out for that video because I definitely want to give my thoughts on that game next. And also just be sure to look forward to, in general, when it comes to more Kid Icarus content, because besides those other games I'm going to be talking about, there's also going to be other videos out there talking about the series as well. So if you enjoyed what you saw today, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you guys want to follow me on my social media, be sure to check out my Twitter, my Instagram, my Facebook, and my TikTok. All of that is located in the description below. Be sure to click on that bell for notifications so you guys are notified whenever I drop a video on the channel. But other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever the day may be, if it's the daytime, the nighttime, or the evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out.